lovely souls. Welcome. It's Melanie here. And we're celebrating Imbolc today and the goddess of fire, Brigid, in this ceremony. So Imbolc covers the 1st and the 2nd of February, or certainly this year. And I think that is pretty much the norm. I've been learning a lot about Imbolc and Brigid over the last week or so in preparation for doing this lovely fire ceremony. Hi, Sheila. So there's so much information, and it's rooted in a lot of history to do with Ireland and the Celts, and it's also, there's a link into the Saint Brigid, which is linked to perhaps Christianity coming in and turning what was the goddess Brigid into the Saint Brigid. And there's so many things. Sheila, Saint Brigid has come up a few times for me too. Yeah, and it's such a great time because, well, just to give a bit of background, so I'm finding that there's different mentions that go back so many centuries, so many centuries. And I believe that when Christianity came around, perhaps they turned what would have been a goddess Brigid, goddess of fire, and that relation to the sun and the earth and that Celtic and pagan feel, into more of a saint to fit into the Christianity and such like, and that's fine. So I believe this is sometimes called Candlemas. It's celebrating Saint Brigid. It's celebrating also in more of the Celtic pagan kind of nature ways. It's celebrating the goddess Brigid and her connection to the land and to the return of the sun. So it's really powerful. It's really beautiful. And I think that there's also, from what I'm reading, maybe a couple of different souls called Brigid. And so it comes in, it kind of pieces together, but you have this overall energy of this wonderful divine feminine energy. And she is linked so much to the return of spring, to seeing the bulbs coming up outside in the Northern Hemisphere here. I popped outside, well, I'm outside every day, but popped out and was looking at the bulbs shooting up through the earth when they've been hidden in the soil in the darkness over winter. And now coming up, breaking through the darkness into the light, which is a beautiful sort of way of saying it and to linking it in with spring and the goddess of Brigid. So it very much links into springtime and new life, the cycle of life, rebirth, into the sun, the return of the light, and fire, the goddess of fire. So I kind of delved in there, but what I want to do with you now we're in this sacred space and circle is cleanse the room, which I've done already, but cleansing the sacred space between us and filling it with love and with light, and asking our guides and angels to step forward, specifically Archangel Michael, that I always ask to come and hold the space and protect the space, and making it a really beautiful high vibrational space as we step into this celebration and ceremony for Imbolc and the goddess of fire, Brigid. Now I have lit loads and loads of candles, and I've tried to set this up. Oh, Sheila, you've put, she is a good friend of mine's guide as well. Goddess, we are so far from spring here still. Yeah, you're in the depths of coldness and snow, bless you. Well, it might be cold out there. And there have been weeks here where it has been really cold, especially when we had that bit of snow here in England before Christmas. But even so, I could see the buds on the trees. I could see that there was life coming up and coming through, that nature is, although dormant, there's a busyness that we don't see. And I think it's always remembering that, and remembering at this time of year, although it can still be very dark and it can be cold and there's not so much signs of nature and life always, there's always that promise of it will come, because nature never fails. Mother Earth is pure, reliable love, light, and spring always comes following winter. And we see that as the years go by, that rebirthing, that birth. Brigid was often invoked for shepherds, shepherdesses, but for shepherds, as in many years ago, when you had the shepherds and the farmers, and they were in the heart of nature, and they'd been through the depths of the winter without electricity, you know, without our creature comforts that we're so lucky to have today. When we came to this time of the year, they would really invoke Brigid, the goddess of fire, to really support them and to get them off to a good start with springtime and the birthing of the lambs, which would bring milk and cheese and such like. So it really goes back to ancient ways, and it makes so much sense. And if you think, like you were saying, Sheila, you're in a kind of like the heart of winter at the moment, with the snow on the ground and the minus temperatures and so on. If you think that when we lived in our other lifetimes hundreds of years ago, not even that, we had this much physically harder way of life, and we lived very much with the land and appreciated it and understood it, which I think many of us spirituals do. But we were very aware of the hardships in terms of the coldness of the winter, of keeping warm, of the lack of the amount of food that was readily available, the lack of abundance of food. And so this time of year, as we invoke Brigid to come in and to bless us, and we're going to do a little ceremony, we're going to read like a little poem, and we've got all the lights on. I've set this up so you can see the fire, which was blazing, but it's gone down a little bit now. I've got lots and lots of tea lights and lights over here. You can't see them too well, but lots of colours of reds as well, reds and yellows, which I feel is good. Red top as well, which kind of invokes that colour of the fire goddess. So yeah, we're going to I've lost my train of thought there a bit, but so we're going to delve into that side of things, because if you think about it, this time of year, and especially many years ago, we would be out gathering firewood in the winter. We would have stored the food from the spring and the summer and the autumn, the harvest of the summer and the autumn crops. We would have harvested those, and as much as possible, we would have things like apples or things that we could keep in colder places and so on. You know, we would have kept so we could get through the winter, and the stores of seeds and nuts and such like. Because I'm just thinking what I see out now when I'm going outside in nature, and I'm just thinking about how I'm often out in the meadow and I'm picking up sticks and I'm just making a neat pile, just more in terms of the tidiness and, you know, keeping it neat. And so when we eventually come to mow, there's not sticks everywhere. But I'm also very aware, especially going into the theme of and the blessings and the invoking of Brigid, that these twigs that would fall off the trees over the winter time, they would be collected as firewood and used to get people through those winter cold months. I mean, I'm here in a thermal top at the moment, which is pretty over the top probably, with the fire in the background as well, but it is still feeling pretty wintry in many ways. And yeah, I really wanted the red theme going on. So I just want to check a few of my notes, because there was so much to say about this festival on this wheel of the year, looking at like the Celtic side of things. But she links in, as you've probably gathered, talking about the lambs and the cheese and the milk coming into fertility, into the fertile season, the creative season, the feminine, the creative feminine of birthing the new. And that doesn't have to be a physical birth, although she links in with physical birth of animals and children and so on, but that can be the birthing of new projects, of new ideas, of new concepts. That can be the birthing of you living your life with your dreams, with your wishes, and really setting your intentions to manifest. As I feel like it feels more like the beginning of the year now. This to me feels more like the celebration of the new year, where we're coming more into the springtime. We're seeing a little bit more light. In most countries, perhaps we're seeing a little bit more warmth, maybe not in parts of America and Canada. And we're seeing nature starting to come to life, to rebirth. We're seeing it physically above the soil. So this is an amazing time to think about these things, and you can tap into this, of course, in your own time, and you can do your own meditations with this, which is a really beautiful thing to do. But also, this is, I think, a really beautiful way to look at this as well, because those are kind of the physical aspects. And now I'm going to go into the inner world aspects of our spiritual being, of how you think about how Brigid brings the light, the rebirthing, how she is this amazing divine feminine energy and this like cosmic fire of potential and possibility and fertility and creativity and that passion that comes with all of that. Now we have that aspect within all of us as well. I mean, this is a given, but sometimes it's something that we can forget. So I just want to bring to light here in this festival of fire and light that each of us, each of you, are born with our unique gifts and talents. And we have amazing potential and possibility within us. And we're living that now. We're living parts of that now, but we can always step into it even more fully. We have this wonderful power within our soul, this wonderful power within our being that supports us in stepping into whatever we want to live in our life, however we want to choose to live our life, our dreams, our desires, our wishes. We put them into intentions, and from there we manifest. And if you've listened to my lives before, which, well, I know Sheila works with this as well, then you'll know that we are always working with the power of our mind and our intentions. You know, we wake up in the morning, and if we have that intention that it's going to be a great day and we're going to make the most of it, and we're going to tap into our inner being and our potential and our possibility, and we're going to make the most of the moments, then that is actually usually how that day pans out. And if we wake up and we think, oh, it's a dark day, it's a cold day, I'm fed up, then, you know, that's setting the mindset for the day. It's so simple, so obvious, but it really does. And so the power of your mind and the intentions that you have for your life and the way you're going to live it and the blessings that you are going to receive is so powerful. So it comes back to this. It comes back to this remembrance of the fire, the energetic fire in your soul, that the gifts, the love, the light. And then that goes into how we are also looking at the life that is coming up to the surface, breaking through the darkness of the soil where it has been dormant or nurtured over the winter months, and it's coming up and it's breaking through the surface and it's opening up into the light, into the beautiful sunshine and the light, which we're heading even more into in the Northern Hemisphere with spring. So a really beautiful time. And so Brigid was invoked so much. She was blessed. Ceremonies were done all over to ask that she come in and that she bless us. And this is what I'm asking for today for all of us. And we'll do a little poem in a minute, and we'll get ourselves in a kind of like a meditative space to do it, a nice, calm, relaxed space. And we are ushering her in, along with spring and the light and the sunshine and the gift of bounty in our food, in our crops, and in our creativity and in our lives. And so it is. And with Brigid, she would be invoked to come in and bless the home. So I invite you to with me invoke Brigid to bless our homes, to bless our hearth, to bless us, to bless all of our loved ones, our family and our friends, and to bless the year ahead, and to bless humanity in all its forms of people and animals and plants and beyond. And this is really powerful, and I'm visualizing that as well, and I can just see this power that goes out where it's connecting in with the all that is cosmos consciousness. It's connecting in like a web of consciousness, and with all of our guides and angels, because we can tap into them at the same time, and they can all work in a sense collectively, because each and every one of the beings of light that we work with is working in the light for the highest good. It's about bringing love and light and blessings to all. So I think that's really beautiful as well, and something that you might like to consider. I just want to check if there's anything else that I want to cover there, but I feel that that's kind of mentioned a brief kind of idea of how we have come about celebrating Brigid. She's linked in a lot with healing, and she's linked in with supporting women on their spiritual journey, as of course there were times years ago where women weren't so supported and it was very patriarchal, more so than now. I feel we're breaking through that, and I feel like women are really shining their light, and the divine feminine, because there's probably men here watching as well, so welcome. And your divine feminine and your divine masculine, you know, that's beautiful in all of us, and the divine feminine in all of us is breaking through, and it's shining, it's emanating outward, and you can see it in the world. You can see it in the form of the creativity and the love and the light and so on. It's really, really beautiful. But yeah, so just quickly go back, she is related to springtime, to fertility, to creativity, the cycles of life and rebirth, and I think that healing, poetry, I believe, and lots more, lots more. But it gives you an indication. She's linked with fire, earth, sun. Fire, earth, sun. And at this particular time in the calendar, so to speak, of, or the wheel of the year, this is a beautiful invoking of the blessings of Brigid and all that she brings along with this Imbolc celebration. So if you're ready, I'm just gonna clear the air a little bit more, like clear that energy, bring in more love, bring in more light. Just really do a bit of a cleanse there. If you're ready and you can go and journey within for, probably going to only do this for 5-10 minutes, but I just want to get you into a beautiful space where you can connect with your inner being more clearly, more strongly. When we're doing this in a quiet space, perhaps you might find. And then I'm going to read this beautiful poem, which I found on the internet. It's not one that I've written. It's really beautiful. And I will tell you what it says on the back of it as to who wrote it as we go on. And then we'll do a little grounding back in before we come out of this. So it's only going to be quite short, 5-10 minutes, but it will be really beautiful. So if you're in a space where you can relax and go within, and it's safe to do so, then please journey with me now. Otherwise, you come back on the replay, of course, or you can tap into this anytime. Another thing to mention, please come back into this if you're driving or operating machinery or doing anything that needs your full attention. Because as we know, in this space, it's so beautiful. And it's almost like we do find ourselves with the outside world feels outside of us. And we go into this beautiful inner dwelling where our soul always is, in a sense. And so we can connect very fully with our spiritual support team, God, source, consciousness, whatever you wish to call that energy that we're in all the time, along with other beings of light and our inner knowing and wisdom. So it's very powerful. It's very potent, as you'll know, because I know that many of you that will be watching this will have watched this me before, and you'll be doing a lot of inner work, so you know how powerful it is. So make sure that you do it at a time that's right for you. Now, if you're ready, come journey with me. Preferably have a glass of water nearby so you can drink when you want to, and when you finish this meditation, it makes you thirsty. And a couple of nice breaths in. I like to say nice, deep, cleansing breaths. But it always has to be physically comfortable. So I'm going to do a few nice, deep, cleansing breaths. And just getting really centered and allowing the busyness of the day to roll off of my shoulders and away, the to-do list to leave for the moment, any worries, any doubts to wash away like a wave from the beautiful Mother Ocean washing over us. In a really beautiful way where we don't feel completely soaked and wet and cold, but in a very gentle, energetic water wave. And breathing in that love, breathing in that light. Breathing in that love. Allowing it to wash over us and through us, to penetrate our being, our aura, our chakras, and our physical body. Allowing that energy of the breath, of life that brings us life in the breath, to wash over us and through us and heal and cleanse us. Close your eyes if you haven't, if it's safe to do so, if you feel comfortable as well to do so. I feel really sleepy actually, probably because I've got the fire going as well. Just feel very relaxed and very calm and really dropping into that heart center very quickly. So with that in mind, just really encouraging you to energetically drop down into your heart center. Feel how that feels to be in that space of divine love and light. It's always there. You can be in this space at any time. That wonderful, nourishing and cleansing also breath in. And as it flows through your body, almost like how the ocean or the river flows through every area of your body, cleansing as it goes. It supports you in releasing anything from your day that is no longer serving you. Any busyness, any stresses, any self-doubts or worries, allowing that to wash away and go out through the bottom of your feet, or however you wish to do it, however you wish to visualize it or to feel it, where it will be transmuted into love and into light. Another lovely cleansing breath in as we become really heart-centered, and you might wish to put your hands over your heart chakra as you feel that love and that light emanating outward. And the more we go into these beautiful spaces that are so sacred within that spiritual connection, the deeper I find we feel that love and that light and that harmony and that tranquility, the more we remember our connection to Source and who we truly are. The more we remember our infinite energy, our consciousness, that part of our soul, that part of our being that is here always and is more than the life cycle of the physical body, for example, at the moment on the earthly plane. But as we ascend, which we're doing so much at the moment, we're working on our ascension in the physical body on the earthly plane. And as we continue to do so, it's very likely that we will live much longer if we want to in the physical body. But that's a whole exciting other topic. So just feeling the love and the light here, feeling the warmth of the fire, and invoking Brigid to come forth again at this time and to bless us to bless you, to bless me, to bless all of us, to bless our house where we live, where we are safe, to bless our friends and our family, all of our loved ones, all of our soul family that we might not even be in touch with yet in this earthly lifetime, or that might not have come into the earthly plane with us this time. They might be supporting us from the etheric. So sending blessings out to everything and to all to raise the consciousness as well of the planet and to support in healing and raising the vibe of everyone to more love and to more light. Because it's very important, especially at this time in the world, that we don't focus on the negative. I know we can be aware of it. I feel that's important. But it's really important that we focus on the positive situations and love and light and harmony. And as we envisage it, as we invoke it, as we feel it, as we embody more of it, we send it out into the world and we support the whole of the planet, all of the beings, people, animals, plants, etc., to raise their vibration as well, and to come into this new earth, into this golden age that we are creating as we speak. We thank Brigid for protecting and blessing all of us, for supporting us throughout the year, to bless us with abundance of all good things, abundance in our crops, in our food, etc., and abundance in our creativity, within our mind and within our body, within our ideas, and to support us, along with our spiritual team, of course, in stepping into our true divine power with those intentions and manifesting them for the year. It feels so like the start of the year, more so now than it does to me anyway at the 1st of January. And I think a lot of us feel the same there, particularly those of us that follow the Celtic calendar or the wheel of the year. Very powerful and potent, really taps into the seasons and Mother Earth, and we live alongside her, we live within her. She is our Mother Earth. You know, this is powerful stuff, but so many have moved away from this and it's not helpful for them. So what we're doing here is really positive, really powerful, really supportive, and really helping us with our spiritual development and with the way we work and step through our own life, how we step through the year, how we embody more of who we truly are, and to love ourselves and to understand our feelings and how our body feels, perhaps in the winter time when we don't feel like we can do so much. Just try and honor that, because we're not meant to be doing so much physically. We're meant to be journeying more within and having that recuperation time after a busy year, a busy harvest, and such like. So really feeling that warmth and that nurture and feeling the energy and the love of Brigid here with us, and thanking her for her blessings. And I'd like to read this beautiful poem that I found, actually. I found it, I think it was on a website called, here we go, Wise Woman Wisdom at outlook.com. And the person that wrote it is on the back of a card. It says, Made with Love by Carol Clothier. And I think I've pronounced that right. Carol Clothier, Wise Woman Wisdom at outlook.com. And it's really a beautiful, very short poem, but powerful. So I'm going to read this to you and just listen to the words. And if it feels good and right for you, then perhaps repeat them in your mind or just let them wash over you. Brigid, goddess of fire, goddess of the hearth, guide us and protect us as we walk this path. Goddess of poetry, goddess of craft, keeping all that's sacred from generations past. Keeper of the light that's increasing every day. Candles lit and fires burn to guide us on our way. Goddess of fire, goddess of the hearth, guide us and protect us as we walk this path. I'm going to say this 3 times. It feels more potent and powerful. It's so beautiful, isn't it? And thank you to the lady that wrote it. It's so beautiful. Brigid, goddess of fire, goddess of the hearth, guide us and protect us as we walk this path. And that's our path, isn't it? Each of us individual, exactly what's right for us, and we know what's right for us, especially when we're connected in with our inner knowing and wisdom. Goddess of poetry, goddess of craft, keeping all that's sacred from generations past, keeper of the light that's increasing every day, candles lit and fires burn to guide us on our way. Goddess of fire, goddess of the hearth, guide us and protect us as we walk this path. And we send blessings and thank yous, and I'm going to do it one more time. Brigid, goddess of fire, goddess of the hearth, guide us and protect us as we walk this path. Goddess of poetry, goddess of craft, keeping all that's sacred from generations past. It does feel a really lovely connection in with our ancestors here today, doesn't there, as well? Keeper of the light that's increasing every day, candles lit and fires burn to guide us on our way. Goddess of fire, goddess of the hearth, guide us and protect us as we walk this path. Blessed be, and so it is. Thank you to Brigid and our spiritual support teams, of which we have so many beings of light supporting us. I really felt that feel of the ancestors coming in there. I could really see my grandma coming in and enjoying that as well. And I could really feel her saying, yeah, I remember those days, because when she walked the earthly path, she would have been very much more in touch with nature than a lot of people are today. There was electricity and so on that had come in, but it was not like today. And things like heat and keeping warm and food supply and so on, when she was earthbound, which I think was, gosh, I wish I could remember, 19 something, fairly early, maybe in 1900s. It was very different back then, and it's only a blink of time away, isn't it? That's such a small time away. It's not that distant in our past at all. And in the big picture, it's like the blink of an eye, but we've come forward so very fully with many of our creature comforts and our technical abilities. But what we must do, and this is very important, is that we must excel spiritually as well. We can't just step in to the new age without our spiritual wisdom, because that anchors everything in, that keeps the balance. That's so important. And it's through our intuition and so on, and working with our spiritual tools, that we also create magic. And if you think back to the times of Atlantis, they were working with the energies of crystals. They didn't have electricity like we think of it, but they worked with the power of electricity to generate power, the power of crystals with it, which is amazing. So I think that when you think about the wisdom, the intuition, and the knowledge that we have within, that we've learned through lifetimes and generations, it's imperative that we step forward with that, because it keeps us aligned, it keeps us in our divine feminine, divine masculine, it keeps us balanced, and if you like, that purity, it keeps us full of love and light and doing what is for the highest good with the highest intentions. And that is so important, particularly at this time. It's very, very important. And we're at a real transition in the world at the moment. And there's many, many of us beings of light that are doing this inner work and doing this collective work to support each other, ourselves, and the collective. So well done, everyone. Now, just in this meditation still, I would like you to just take a few nice deep cleansing breaths again. Still very aware of the connection to your spiritual support team. Thanking Brigid for coming forward, thanking our spiritual support team, of course, as always, for being so fully present. We're always connected with them, always, always, even when we feel very disconnected, even when we feel very busy or challenged, we are always connected with them. They are all, whether you realize it or not, whether you feel it or not, they are there. And so I just want you to take a nice few deep breaths in. Just really feel that beautiful alignment that you always have there with Source, with your spiritual team, with your inner knowing and guidance and wisdom that you have gained not only in this lifetime, but through many times where you have walked the earthly life, and also times where you have lived in other dimensions or star systems as well. Hi, Maria. Lovely to see you here. So just feel into that and just remember that. And then I would like us to just do a quick grounding before we come out of the meditation. I'm just going to check just before we do that, so you can just enjoy being in the moment. Just enjoy this feeling of relaxation and harmony. So just before we come out, just have a little think about what we've discussed here today. Let that sink in. Remember Brigid, the bringer of light, the sunshine, the rebirth, the fertility, which for me also very much so links into creativity. And perhaps have a little intention of what you would like to step more fully into and manifest through this year. It might be more time to do the creative pursuits that you love, perhaps writing, painting, sculpting, perhaps getting out in nature more, making that promise to yourself to connect more fully with Mother Earth, with nature. It could be anything, and you might have some aspirations for perhaps new friendships, new relationships, a new home, and it can be whatever you wish it to be, because as you start to envisage yourself doing these things and you start taking the steps to do them and start stepping into them and living it, as that happens, you might already know, but you'll understand how it doesn't matter the size of the wish or the intention. The source, God's source consciousness, doesn't see the size of something. It hears and feels and knows the wishes and the dreams and the intentions that you have. It doesn't see them as different sizes. So what I'm saying is, really stake your claim on what you would like to step into and what you want to claim as yours, that you feel is your birthright, that is your gift or is your path. Stake your claim on that, particularly on this day where we have the fire lit, we have the lights going. And I've got these lovely bulbs here to show you, which I'll show you in a minute. Stake your claim on that. And for me, I'd like to put out there that a good balance is so important to me. There's a busyness and I'm managing to do a lot of what I love, but it is a balancing act. And so balance is important. So for me, and I feel it will be the same for many of you as well, to have that balance means that we can do all the things that we want to do. We can be mom and we can do the things we want to with our family and our children, and we can be wife or husband more fully, and we can do our day job or whatever that is with love and gratitude and so on. Or our soul aligned work is what I hope that everyone's doing I hope and wish that for you, because that is very, very fulfilling. And we all come here with our own missions and gifts and so on. but really just to step into that and the balance for me especially, and alongside that, very much so, my spiritual work and my creativity with continuing to write and so on, and to channel and that kind of thing is really important. So just have a little think there. Hopefully me talking through that's given you some ideas. And just ground in now as well. And what a great time to ground in our intentions. So from the root base of your spine, visualize a ribbon, root or cord, nice and wide as your aura or a ray of light going down from there through your hips and your legs and your feet, deep down into the earth, and really grounding in your desires and your wishes, your intentions, really ground them into the earth. I'm really grounding in that balance and creativity and love and joy. So I'm grounding that in. If that feels good to you, let that wash over you, and you might like to repeat it. Grounding in that balance and that love and that light and that creativity and that joy. Love, light, creativity, joy, balance. Try and repeat it 3 times there, like we did with the Brigid poem. And so it is. Blessed be. And feel that love of Mother Earth, of the crystalline grid coming up through your feet and your legs, coming up into your body, mixing in with that beautiful source energy. And allow that to really ground you in, feeling really fully connected and strong and balanced on the earthly plane, our wonderful, beautiful souls in our beautiful physical bodies that make it possible for us to be on the physical earthly plane at this time. So gratitude and blessings for us all for that. And gratitude and blessings to our spiritual team, and of course within the love and light of Source. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. You might like to wriggle your fingers and toes. You might like to just move around a little. I'm just going to do a nice cleansing breath in. Releasing anything that's left to release out, embodying more of that love and light and those beautiful intentions, breathing out what we're wanting to release, breathing in again, just doing this 3 times, letting that cleanse through and really embody what we're looking to intentionally manifest, and then really stepping into our true divine love and light and power. And on that out breath, breathing out what we're ready to release. It feels really, really good. That feels really powerful. And as you're now with your eyes open and feeling physically present on the earthly plane, you also might like to just rub your arms down, tap your shoulders, just feel really more physically present. And I've just got this lovely, I bought this one recently, but it's a beautiful dwarf tulip called Lilac Wonder. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that, because I just thought that looks so beautiful. And it reminded me of Brigid and Imbolc, and it reminded me of whatever you wish to call this this time of the wheel of the year, or in the calendar, or in the Christian faith, or whatever you wish to call it. That rebirth and seeing the birthing of the bulbs coming up through the soil just felt really powerful and potent for today. So hence why I'm bringing that along. So I think that's everything that I wish to cover today. And that's been really lovely. I've really enjoyed it. And it's been lovely to connect with some of you live. Thank you, Sheila and Maria, and everyone else who's been here live. And thank you to everyone who joins on the replay as well. I love the fact that there's so many of you that catch the replay and find it powerful and supportive and encouraging and uplifting. And it's, you know, it's embodying more love and light. That's what we're doing here. And that is transformative. So it's really, really powerful. So I don't know if you can see, but I've still got these wonderful candles. I don't think you can see them very well. There's lots of amazing colours. But we've got this wonderful sacred triangle with the tea lights. And we've got a 3-wick candle, a 3-wick, and that's in the sacred triangle. So I love working with sacred geometry, and the sacred triangle is very powerful and potent again as well. And of course the fire, which, well, it's still very, very hot ambers in there, but you can't see it so fully now. So thank you so much for listening and being here. And I hope you found it helpful and useful and supportive and transformative as well. And of course, you can come back onto this in the replay. And of course, you can do your own inner work with this, and you can tap back into your own inner world at any time and do the same sort of work. So just go with what works for you. I did want to mention that I've got 2 circles coming up this month. I do one live in my home, physically in my home, and I do one live on Zoom. So 2 sacred circles, 2 sacred spiritual circles of meditations and healing. And in the meditations, there's a lot of journeying where we tap into our inner wisdom and knowledge. And last month we did a wonderful journeying with our totem animals, spirit guides. And that was very powerful and had some really amazing feedback on that, which was incredible. But to be honest, I expected that would go down really well, because our spirit animals are so awesome. They're so powerful. And because the majority of them have walked the earthly life as well, there's a very deep connection that we have in the physical form to them as well. So it's very, very beautiful. But I've got 2 circles coming up, and I'm actually just going to grab my diary so I can tell you what they are, because I think that would be a sensible thing to do while I have you present. So I think I'm just going to have a little whiz through my 2023 diary and just let you know for February what we have coming up on the circle front. So let's have a little look. So the online sacred circle, online spiritual circle, which is the meditations and some healing. And last time I did some card reading as well for individuals. Actually, we had time to do that because it was a small intimate group on the live, on the Zoom. There was time to do a little individual reading for each person, which was super cool. And I guess as we go forward, there might not be the time or ways to do that, but I can do a collective card, which is, just as powerful in many ways. It's going to be meaningful. So the Sacred Circle online is Thursday, the 16th of February, 2023. That's Thursday, the 16th of February, 2023. I will put this in a post on my Facebook pages, the Green Acres Holistic Retreat, Soul Alchemy, and the Melanie, actually, I think it's Sunshine. I've taken the Green Acres out, Sunshine to the Soul, Soul Alchemy, and my Facebook Melanie Hughes page. I'll put it on there so that you can book a ticket if you want to come along. But if you're not sure what to do and you're not sure where to find this information, just message me in the comments, particularly within my Facebook feed. I see that very, very regularly. Or just drop me a message where you can within where you're seeing this, either on YouTube or Facebook, or you can do a private Facebook message if you want to. That's perfect. And I can give you the information. So that's at 6 p.m. UK time. So you will have to check that out on a calculator in terms of like to translate it. I think I'm thinking of the wrong word, calculator, but you know what I mean, like a time zone converter. That's what I'm trying to say, a time zone converter. But 6 p.m. UK time, Thursday, the 16th of February. But I will be putting it out on a separate post. And then the following week, I should be doing one in my home. So that will be super powerful. I've got it in for that date, and that will be really lovely. And we also have some lovely ladies on that as well. An intimate group of lovely ladies that come along. And of course, it's not saying that men can't get involved with this. That's not the case, but it just tends to be spiritual women that come along, and that's beautiful and that's lovely. So I hope that is helpful. If there's anything else you want to know, just message me or ask in the comments. But I'd love to know how this has felt for you. If you've joined and you've joined towards the end, do go back over, because if you start from the beginning, I give you a little bit of information on Imbolc and the goddess Brigid, or Saint Brigid. And I also do a beautiful poem that I found. And so we read through that. And yeah, really beautiful in this lovely meditative space. So do check it out if you're joining now and you've missed it. And otherwise, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. It's really lovely to connect with you, and lots of love and blessings to you all on this Imbolc day. And here's to a wonderful year ahead of abundance and blessings for all of us. Lots of love, and keep shining your beautiful lights. Bye for now.